Hello, Rebecca.
Hello.
The Librarians is one of the few shows that's airing really quickly after it's airing in the US. So we've seen the season 2.
Yes.
T'as provoqué l'éruption du volcan!
C'était un tout petit volcan. Venez, je crois que j'ai un plan génial. On est tombé dans un piège.
Parfait.
And season 3 is right around the corner. So what can you tell us about season 3?
We had just as much fun making season 3 as we had making the first 2 seasons. It's just as much adventure and comedy and fun for a whole family to enjoy. It's a little bit darker than the first 2 seasons. We have some deaths. We have several characters who die, including one major character.
Oh my.
Yeah, they wanted to take it a little bit darker this season, which is interesting. Colonel Eve Baird is just as protective as always. At the end of season 1, we saw my character, Colonel Baird, travel through different dimensions where she saw all 3 librarians in training as the librarian. And because she's seen their full potential in season 3, she wants to help train them to reach their full potential. She knows how amazing they can each be as a librarian, so she wants to help them get there quicker and faster.
So it was everything you wished for your character this season.
It was, and we see a little more backstory for Colonel Eve Baird, which is something I also wanted. We have 2 different adversaries this season. The first is Apep, the Egyptian god of chaos, who wants to release pure evil back into the world. And of course, we have to keep the library out of the hands of Apep. And the other is a government agency called DOSA, the Department of Statistical Anomalies, headed by General Cynthia Rockwell, who is played by Vanessa Williams this season. And it's a government agency that now realizes that magic is in the world and they want to be in charge. And they have the librarians listed as terrorists. And of course, this is horrific to Colonel Eve Baird, who comes from a military background. Colonel Baird's going to make Colonel Baird question her place in the library. And several other characters will have their mortality questioned and their place within the library questioned. It's a good evolution for all characters.
It's a mini Ugly Betty reunion here.
It is. Well, I mean, it was pretty exciting for us to get back together. And it's funny because Vanessa and I have a couple scenes together where we actually played a dynamic that felt familiar to us from our Ugly Betty days. And I mean, there's nobody better than Vanessa Williams. And we were so thrilled that she came on board this season. So I can't wait for the fans of the show to see.
So your character is pretty quiet and protective, as you said. Do you think she will lose it one day?
She was selected by Colonel Eve Baird as a NATO counterterrorism expert, was selected by the library for her very specific skill set, which is strategy, investigative quality, and super protective qualities. I like to think of her as like a very, very, very strong, like a German Shepherd. She's steadfast and she's very grounded and she likes to make a plan and she likes to follow a strategy, and it's something that drives her crazy about Flynn Carson, who of course doesn't like to make a plan and likes to fly by the seat of his pants. And I think they complement each other because I think he helps her enjoy the fun of the world, and I think she helps bring him back down to earth and ground him a little bit. So I don't think it's in her nature to lose her mind, although there is an episode this season where her mortality is questioned, and you'll see her get thrown a little bit because her job is to protect everyone else. It's never her job is to die for everyone else. So that's never been in question. She's made peace with that. She understands by season 3, she understands what her place is at the library. But there will be one episode this season where she'll get thrown a little bit, where all of a sudden she's a target that she didn't ever think she would be.
Her relationship with Flynn evolved a lot this season, but what about with the other librarians? Do you think she has a closest relationship with someone?
I think she feels very, very, very close to all 3. And I think her relationship is very, very special with all 3. Her relationship with Cassandra is very, very sisterly. Her relationship with Jacob Stone is like brother and sister. We've shared fight scenes. He has a lot more fighting to do this season. Christian Kane is great with his fight choreography. And he and I worked on another show together called King and Max, where we played brother and sister. And it's a dynamic that we've never been able to let go of. And it sort of has carried over into our relationship in this show. And I think with Ezekiel Jones, Eve Baird feels like a mother to him. it took her a long time because he comes from this, he's a thief, you know, she doesn't respect that at all, but I think she really understands his skill set and why he was brought there and how smart he is, and she sees how good and how tricky he can be and how important that is to the library.
Do you have a favorite episode from season 2?
I have 2 favorite episodes. The alternate reality where the happily ever afters, where we all end up in that small town in our happily ever after story. And the other favorite episode was our finale, where we go back to 1511 and we meet Shakespeare. And the statue, you know, the statue that we came up with at the end, it wasn't scripted that we end up in a kiss. That was something that Noah came up with, actually, on the day. We were just supposed to be a statue standing together. And Noah decided at the last second to put me into a deep kiss, so it was a 500-year-long kiss, which was nice.
Talking about Noah, well, he's directing and he co-wrote some episodes from season 3.
He wrote an episode. He wrote
sure.
possibly my favorite episode from season 3. And he directed 2 of our episodes. I think he also is in one of those. Mm-hmm. He stars in 5 of them. And, you know, watching Noah as Flynn Carson is such a treat. I mean, he's so funny. I think most people before Librarians remembered him from ER, which
Obviously.
was not as much comedy as the Librarians. And I don't think any of us were prepared to love Flynn Carson the way Noah plays Flynn Carson. He's so funny. His physical comedy is perfect. His comic timing is perfect. And the only thing we love more than Noah as Flynn Carson is Noah as director. Noah as director is really fun. It almost, you get to feel like how it feels to be Noah as an actor. He likes a lot of movement and kinetic movement. Touches on personal dynamics that we all have within the show, for real.
Are you a big TV watcher?
I am. Not as big as I used to be. I'm a child of the 80s. I was a latchkey kid. My parents worked, and so I'd come home and watch TV. And I watched a lot of TV growing up. And now I don't have as much free time because I've got kids, and between production and motherhood, I don't have as much time to watch TV, but I still love TV. I think we're in a real golden era of television. There are certain things that I make it a point to watch, and I love Orphan Black. Black Mirror is coming back. I love Black Mirror. I love Masters of Sex. I'm sure I'm missing some, but anyway, you get the idea.
What about the Comic-Con in Paris? So how do you enjoy Paris?
I love Paris. I used to live here. I lived here for a couple of years, and then
So you speak French?
A little bit. Not enough to conduct this interview. I don't want to insult anyone. But I came back 10 years after I lived here to make Femme Fatale, a movie I did with Brian De Palma, which was also a really special time for me. And I love it. I mean, I come as much as I can. I would like to live here again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.